Hello everyone, let's just get this out of the way. I've got speech anxiety and I just want to get through this. So, the year is 2009 and young me is reading a gaming magazine and I see this image. It captures my eye. I'm just infatuated with this image. Okay, I made that kind of weird, but anyways, this image caught my eye, and as a young kid, you know, who loves superheroes, especially Batman, and knowing that this is a game that's going to come out, my Snapchat just went off, for fuck's sake. I was pretty hyped. And then fast forward to a few months later, I'm being picked up from school, and boom, Batman Arkham Asylum is sat in my lap. The only thing I have to go off is this image that I saw in the magazine months ago. Because at this point, I was just a kid and I was loving like games like Lego Batman. I didn't give a shit about this like real looking Batman game, so I went into it not expecting much, and let me just tell you, I came out a different man. Yeah, that's right, I went from a boy to a man when I played this game. Batman Arkham Asylum, to this day, like, what is it now, like fucking 12 years later,
oh my god,
it is still my favourite game of all time. So, me and my mate Zach, shout out to Zach, we have an inside joke. He always takes the piss, how I always say that I love the atmosphere of Arkham Asylum. The atmosphere. And I know he'll be watching this and he'll be laughing at this part, but that is what captured me in the very beginning, was the atmosphere of the asylum. You've got the iconic Arkham Asylum intercom chime, which is quite literally my email tone. So whenever I get an email, that chime plays. That chime to me is like fucking bells from heaven. Like, I loved it so much, and just the creepiness of the asylum, and just the sound design for this game is incredible. And it was just such a good era to be a Batman fan. I mean, this game got me into Batman, because before this, all I had was Lego Batman and the goofy fucking George Clooney Batman. Like, what was that? And then this game just comes out of nowhere and just takes me by storm. Like, Arkham Asylum is still my favourite Arkham game. And it's just biblical. Not to mention the gameplay. I mean, the Predator mode, which was just revolutionary at the time, and the combat, which every single player game tries to emulate, because it has the core foundations of free flow. You have counter, you have dodge, you have attack, you have combos, and it is such a good combat system, and it was revolutionary at the time. You got the detective mode, which I'll admit makes Predator way too easy, but then you take it away and it's just insanely hard. And I liked how that there was a point in the game in Arkham Asylum when the thugs put bombs on the gargoyles. That was such a good like challenge for the player, and I remember as a kid that part drove me insane, because I kept on grappling onto the gargoyles, because I skipped the cutscene where they put the bombs on the gargoyles. So I was like, why are the gargoyles exploding? I was like, what the And then there was the Easter eggs. You had all the patient interview tapes, you had the Amadeus Arkham like side plot thing, you had all the riddles, and then you had that secret wall in the warden's office, which was insane. Like, it's crazy how like people only found that like years later, and like Arkham City was coming out, and like people found that, and that literally held concept art for Arkham City. Like, that was just insane. And just like, once again, the atmosphere of the game was incredible, and the challenge mode as well, which I'll probably be using gameplay for in this video, but the challenge mode was just addictive. And I remember when you complete the game and you unlock the armoured batsuit, and if you got the Game of the Year edition for PS3, shout out to PS3 gang, you got to play as the fucking Joker. Like, this game can't even get any better, but it just does. It gets better, and to this day, it still holds up, and it annoys me when people say it's the least favourite Arkham game because it doesn't hold up. What do you mean it doesn't hold up? It's literally the foundation of the current Arkham games, and it still does it best. That's what's insane to me. And there were so many like iconic moments, such as the Scarecrow fake crashing scene where it just pretended like your game crashed, and like I remember that shut me up the first time. I was like, whoa. And then like it puts you at the beginning cutscene, but then what's this? You're playing as the Joker, and it was just wild. Like, that is insane. And then straight after that madness, you go into Killer Croc's lair, which was, it still scares me to play it, and I literally got gameplay of it just for this video. And yeah, that level was insane. Like, you can't even run, you get dragged under the pallets. It's insane. I think if I was to end this section of Arkham Asylum off, I'd say the reason why the game is my favourite is because of how focused it is. You're trapped on an island with the worst villains, and you've got all these different locations tightly knit together with different atmospheres. I'm sick of using that word, but that's the only way to describe it. You know, you come out of intensive treatment, you see the island, you go to the medical building, you trip out on Scarecrow gas, you go to the mansion, you trip out again, you go to the penitentiary, you see these crazy fools, and then you go to the botanical gardens, you meet Poison Ivy, you go back to intensive treatment, face Killer Croc, game crashes, and then you go to the caves, you've got the Batcave, and then I'm pretty sure you fight Joker. Jesus, I'm literally a veteran at this game, and I still can't even get it straight, but Arkham Asylum is great. And now moving on to the best era of the Arkham franchise, the Arkham City hype.
What the hell? Oh no, brother, no, no. Oh man, brother, you a wrestler. The pants on, bruh. Let me clap. Don't touch my jams, bro. Don't touch my jams, bro. Oh no way. Hey, this brother, the last time I'm gonna tell you, bro. The last king of my.
I remember scrolling through YouTube as a young kid, a young wee lad. Internet was slower than anything. Videos were buffering constantly. And yet I seen this teaser trailer, Batman Arkham Asylum 2. Yeah, that's right, it wasn't called Batman Arkham City at first, it was quite literally called Arkham Asylum 2. And I remember IGN making theories on what it could be, like, oh, is it an asylum within Gotham, and there's going to be an open world because the teaser trailer showed a city, and it was just insane. Like, I remember that Arkham Asylum 2 hype train. It's so weird calling it Arkham Asylum 2, but it was so good. I think that was the first game I ever properly got hyped for, and I remember asking like everyone every year, like, is Arkham City out? Is Arkham City out? Because then we finally got the reveal that it is going to be called Arkham City. You had all these like great trailers, and I was speaking to my friend Zach, who I mentioned earlier in this video, about how the Arkham City promotion, like the way they promoted that game was so clever. The black and white colour scheme with the red, and it was just great. And that cinematic trailer where he's beating up the Tiger Guards, that if that was a 2-hour movie, I'd legit pay anything to see that. Like, that cinematic trailer to this day is still the best cinematic trailer we've ever gotten, and every Arkham cinematic trailer is amazing, but the Arkham City one was incredible. And to think that came out in 2010 still blows my mind away. That was a year before the game even came out. And then you had all the trailers. You had I think it was called the Ain't No Place for a Hero trailer, where it was just gameplay and then that song was playing. We had all sorts of, we had that Catwoman trailer, we had the E3 demo, I think it was E3, that was iconic, and I remember watching that, getting really hyped. And yeah, just the whole promotional build up to Arkham City, and that's not even mentioning how good Arkham City is as a game. Like, that's just the promotion. Like, it was insane. And I even remember at the time they were still releasing DLC for Arkham Asylum, because they released the Game of the Year edition, and they released the challenge maps and the Player's Joker DLC, and it was great. Like, the hype was getting there, and then you had all the pre-order bonus skins, and you had just in the open world. And I even remember watching the demo, and the fact that you could dive bomb and the fact that you could grapple mid-glide was just insane to me. Like, that's like standard stuff for an Arkham game, but the fact that you could do that at that time was insane, because I was going into Arkham City thinking it was just going to be Asylum in a city rather than an island, and it was quite literally just a city, a Supermax prison, and that was even better. And I remember looking at, once again, gaming magazines, because they were back then gaming magazines were like the prime source of getting information about games. And I remember, because I was a kid and I didn't like reading, I'd just flick through and find pictures of Arkham City, and I think this was the first image that I found of Arkham City, and that just got me so hyped. And everything about Arkham City just fundamentally improves on everything from Asylum. My only gripe with Arkham City is that I wish it was longer. Other than that, the game is incredible. It is just as good as Arkham Asylum, and this whole video was just about like the legacy of those two games and how it made me really get into gaming. Because before that, I was just a kid playing Lego games and I didn't really care. Like, I was playing Spider-Man 2 on the PS2. Wasn't really into games. I mean, I was, but not as much as I am now. And Arkham Asylum and City came along, and that's where I really started to, you know, indulge in the media of games, like the trailers and the gaming magazines and the hype. And it was great. I wish I could go back to that time, because yeah, I was hyped for Arkham Origins and especially for Knight, but those two just didn't hit the same as Arkham Asylum and City. And maybe it's just nostalgia talking, but what I loved about going into Asylum was that I was blissfully unaware of it. I just went into it thinking I'm going to be Batman, it's going to be really cool, and then I came out of it with a standard of gaming that I now have for every game. And then when I seen that they were making a sequel, Arkham Asylum 2, it was just beyond crazy. Like, I remember just every day I was looking at, because there was never like release dates for anything until like the game was literally coming out the month after. So I remember I was just looking up every day release date for Arkham City like that. I was living and breathing Arkham City, and when it finally came out, you best believe that was game changing experience. Like, I played Arkham City to death. I did everything. I've gotten every achievement, 100% of it. I legit no-lifed Arkham City, and I still do it to this day. Although Asylum is my favourite, City was just the most mind-blowing thing ever. And let's not forget about the ending for Arkham City. You had Joker dying, which was insane, and I don't know how many times I've said insane in this video. But yeah, going back onto the main topic of this video, which was the whole promotion of Arkham City and the hype. It was just, I don't know how to describe it, but they captured a specific aesthetic that the rest of the Arkham games just didn't do. It was the whole, like, they took the word city and really just promoted it, like open world, and like I noticed how every trailer ended with gunfire, and like it sounded like chaos in a city. Like, the way they promoted the game was genius, and I just, like I said, I don't know how to describe it, but it was just, they really took the time to show that this was bigger, this was better, this was more grand, this was just better in every way. And it, you know, with the open world and the different movement and, you know, the new villains, like the villains as well. Like, think about it, from Asylum we only had Joker as the main villain and then a few like B-list villains turning up here and there. But with City we had Penguin, we had Hugo Strange, we had Joker, we had Ra's al Ghul, we had Two-Face, we had Catwoman, we had Harley Quinn, we even had Robin turn up, which as a kid that was my favourite part, when he just came in with the quarterstaff and just beat up those ninjas. Like, it was so cool. And yeah, we even had Talia, and yeah, like City just took Asylum and just fucking quadrupled it. And not to mention that the DLC, like you could play as Nightwing, Robin, Catwoman with like different skins, and you had the DLC challenge maps, you had Harley Quinn's Revenge, and they really just like took City to another level. And like, I remember months back I was in the Arkham modding Discord, and I remember like people were talking about the promotional images for Arkham City, and I just remember getting really nostalgic about it because I remember seeing those images in magazines and just thinking like, wow, this game looks incredible. And I noticed how in every image they tried to show a piece of the open world. Like if you look, it'd be Batman in the central focus, and then it'd be the city or the bat signal in the background, and that just, once again, they took the word city and they just promoted the hell out of it. And that is why partly I think the game's success, I think if it wasn't for how well they promoted it, yeah, the game would have still banged, but I don't think it would have had that initial hype behind it. Because like if they just dropped a teaser trailer, kept it as Arkham Asylum 2, I doubt there'd be more incentive. Like yeah, you'd have the Asylum fans going in again, but for new fans just seeing the trailer and seeing City in a Batman open world game, like that's what got people so invested with the game. And the fact that the game didn't disappoint either. Like, you get a lot of games these days that look incredible with the promotion, the trailers, and then they come out and they're half baked. They're not even, and they take loads of updates to finish, and it's not even a finished game. And that's just the state that gaming's in. And I don't want to, I can make a whole other video about that, but that was another thing, is that Arkham just promoted it well. They dropped the game and it blew everyone's expectations out the water. Because I remember going in, like as a kid, my expectations were just, oh, it's going to be Asylum but in a city, quite literally. And in that regards, yeah, the game did a lot better than that. It was quite literally just a city, and just the whole like open world aspects, like they didn't overdo the improvements. Like I feel like in Night they just really tried to make everything bigger and better, but like too much, whereas City was a nice balance of just improving what needs to be improved and keeping the core fundamental elements like combat and stealth the same, because if it isn't broke, don't fix it, like literally. And I feel like it carried over the best aspects of Asylum, and then they added some new spice with it, you know, with the open world, the grappling, and it's just, it was a great game. It's a great game. And honestly, I've run out of things to say, so I'm going to end the video here. Bash!